This is my hotel room. Hotel room. This place, this mansion, is where I was staying last night. Hello one and all, and welcome to Seen Through Glass. You find me in Austria. I'm here with Bentley for a big event called the GP Ice Race. More on that to come soon, but firstly, I mean, this is huge. Yes, a sauna. A sauna inside my hotel room. This place really is a joke. Anyway, I need to now make my way to the GP Ice Race, and to do that, I need a ride. And the fact that I'm here with Bentley means one thing and one thing only: Continental GT time. Oh. Now, if you're wondering why I'm singing like an overexcited choir boy about the fact that I get to drive a Continental GT today, that's because last year I fell in love with this car. Okay, maybe not this particular car, but these cars, the new Continental GT. In my mind, this thing is nearly perfect, and if money was no object, this is what would be replacing my 911 Carrera T. It's just so good at the everyday, well, task. Any task, really. It's got a big boot, it's comfortable, it's got massage seats, it can go outrageously fast if you need it to, and it goes around corners, which I don't think you could say maybe about the previous generation Continental. Anyway, this is a V8 in a rather interesting spec. I would call this maybe old man or old lady spec. It's a lot of wood and sort of chocolatey leather. Anyway, who cares, because I'm still going to enjoy actually driving it. So let's boot her up and commence our sort of hour or so drive to this GP Ice Race. A very unique event. That's the best way to describe it. Unique. Welcome to Flugplatz Zell Am See, basically the Zell Am See airfield. It's currently covered in a little bit of snow, not much, but enough for the GP Ice Race. So what is this event that I keep talking about? A little bit of a history lesson for you. Back in the late 1920s, there was a Winter Olympics event which saw skiers pulled behind horses around a sort of ice track. I mean, it sounds ludicrously dangerous, but it was a thing, and it was called skioring, I believe. Well, as time went on and as motor cars became a thing, in the sort of 50s, motor cars replaced horses. So yes, skiers pulled around an race track by cars. Again, sounds mad. Kind of died out, as you would imagine, but last year, Porsche decided to bring it back with the GP Ice Race. So this is year 2, and because it was Porsche that kind of, brought the whole thing back together again, it is quite a VW Group heavy activation. Tons of Audis, tons of Porsches, Bentley, Skoda, etc. A few other bits knocking around, but everyone goes kind of crazy. I popped down last night on the way to the hotel, just as the sun was setting. I saw a Formula E car pulling a skier around the track. It's just like, what is going on? And some manufacturers, like Bentley, have created bespoke cars for this year's GP Ice Race. So we're going to dive inside, check this place out, and check out the dreamy Continental GT Ice Race Edition. So here it is then, the main reason I had come to the GP Ice Race, the Bentley Continental Ice GT. Now, I'll be honest, I had no real intention of ever considering a Drive the World 2.0 until I saw this. I'll come back to my extreme desire for one of these cars and how I think it's the perfect adventure mobile a little bit later in the video, but for now, let me give you the details of this thing. So at base, it's a W12 Continental GT, and the engine kind of remains the same. So whilst the majority of the changes are aesthetic, there are a few other sort of minor tweaks here and there to make it appropriate for this event. First up, It's blue. Very, very blue. Those of you that have seen the Pikes Peak edition Continental GT will recognise the livery. It's very, very similar, but the Pikes Peak cars are kind of light green, and as I say, this one very blue, which works on the snow, but if I was ever to have this as a kind of road car, I definitely want it slightly more subtle. Anyway, the car has an increased ride height as well as actually a slightly wider track, and that's all to house the huge Pirelli studded tyres, so you've got this sort of additional plastic bits on the wheel arches. Of course, we have to mention the lights. You know I love a car with additional light, and Bentley have gone to town on this thing. There's a huge light bar up on the roof rack, but there's also a light bar behind the big front grille, which when it's lit up, just makes the thing look so mean, especially during the sort of night runs that the car's been doing. But talking of the roof rack, yes, we have got skis ready and raring to go for that ski O-ring that I mentioned earlier, so they're always attached to the roof of this car unless they're on the feet of the skier being dragged behind the thing. Around the back we have got a custom exhaust from Akrapovic, so they also did a custom exhaust again for that Pikes Peak edition. I might be mad, but having heard both, I feel like they sound slightly different. But no matter what, if I was a Conti GT owner, I would be calling up Akrapovic, because they just transforms the car into this kind of really mean and angry beast. Inside, the front seats were replaced with full race rally Sparco seats. That includes harnesses and, of course, a roll cage. And there was also a fire suppression kit to make it all race legal. Now, driving responsibilities had been given to rally driver Catie Munnings for the weekend. Now, she's absolutely awesome, but mad. And she very kindly invited me to jump into the passenger seat for one of her show runs out on a track. And, of course, I said yes. It's so tight, and now I got the neck brace on, I can't move, so I'm like, oh.
Sit so far forward because I'm so short, I actually can't get in the car.
You know what, I didn't want to ask, I assumed it was some kind of like racing driver, like pro position.
No, I'm just too short. I have the same in my rally car, but in the rally car we have a roll cage here, and that means that my mechanics, because it's even a smaller gap, they actually can't get into driver at all.
No way.
And then the seats are bolted in as well, so you can't.
I love it. So this is Catie, she's going to be driving me around on the actual ice circuit. It's my first time, you were having to go yesterday.
Yeah, we had a slide yesterday.
Yeah, the slides.
We've had a skier attached onto the back as well, been pulling him around. He's crazy.
Yeah, that I do not understand, but having said that, Katie's also a little bit crazy. I'm glad you've got some energy there. Yeah. Ready to rock.
A kinder bar. You can have that one, that was fun.
That's for me.
That's like your car snack.
Thank you.
You go on a road trip.
Oh, and you said it would feel slow.
Yeah.
You're mad.
It is pretty slippery, I have to say. I know I'm on ice, but...
Oh my god, look at all the people. Don't mess it up now.
It is, yeah, it's pretty, you can feel that sliding.
This is awesome.
Caught the car in front now, so we'll have to let it.
I was going to say, unfortunately, that Mini's probably not got the same speed we do.
Right, should we do a start then?
Go on, we're doing like a launch.
Big ruts out there.
I love it. Yes, yeah. Oh, nice. I love that you're like proper Scandi flicking it.
Yeah.
So good.
Fully in that car in front, aren't we?
Amazing. So cool. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Hilarious. So way more exciting than you led on. You're like, oh, it's going to be slow and laid back.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I had an awesome time. Awesome time.
We needed a bit more of a head start there, didn't we?
Yeah, I was going to say, that poor Mini probably saw us coming with the light and thought, oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure why I was trying to sort of coach Catie so much or give her feedback during that passenger ride. She clearly knew what she was doing, but I think it was a mixture of sort of nervous excitement as she threw us around a very bumpy and very tight ice track, as well as just sort of making sure that she knew I was having a good time, which I definitely was, but I think it just came across a bit condescending. I was like, oh, well done. What a great drift. Bravo, you. So yes, apologies, Catie, for that. Anyway, at the end of last year, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get to South America as part of Drive the World, and I said at some point I'll head there as a kind of separate series, a bit like Vlog Angeles or Vlogarian. I haven't really worked out the name for it yet, but I want to do a South American special. To make it a real adventure, wouldn't a Continental GT spec, a bit like this sort of Ice GT meets the Pipe Peak Edition, be the perfect vehicle? It's such minor, mainly aesthetic changes that just redefine this car to make it look ready for the end of the world or a 5,000-mile adventure. And that's what I love, because you're still getting this super fast, comfy, wafty GT, but just in the sort of best, meanest spec. So watch this space, people. That's all I'm going to say for now. Bentley, I'm coming for you. The emails, the phone calls, the pleading will begin for a sort of STG South American special Conti GT. I feel like we can make it happen. Anyway, lots of other incredible cars took part in the event over the weekend. I'm going to be discussing a lot more in an upcoming episode of my podcast, Behind the Glass. So if you want to hear more about what happened at GP Ice Race, head over to the Behind the Glass channel, subscribe now so that you don't miss out on all that info. Well, what a day, and what a mad event. Some of that action was amazing, but of course the highlight being the Ice GT. And really, Catie, what an absolute nutter. Before the drive, she was like, it's going to be a bit slow, it's going to be a bit laid back, we can't do much fast drifting here. And then she just absolutely took off like a missile. But yes, you know me, I'm happy in a Bentley. I'm actually very happy in a Bentley, and it kind of makes me think that I really want to try and do everything I can to buy one of these one day. Whether it's going to end up being the Carrera T replacement or not, I'm not entirely sure. But huge thanks to Bentley anyway for the invite, and to GP Ice Race for having me. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you have, and make sure you subscribe for plenty more videos to come.